Good afternoon, I'm Mark and welcome to Berwick Mitsubishi this afternoon. I'm going to take you for a walk around our 2010 model Peugeot 3008 wagon this afternoon. Start at the front of the car and you notice the European quality chrome running right through the front of the grille, and the front bumper bar is fitted with factory fog lights or driving lights. Presents in really good order, finished in a jet black. A few minor little cosmetic chips just on the bonnet, which is consistent with its age. Also fitted with factory alloy wheels. A couple of minor little scuffs on the alloys, but very important to note, the tyres are pretty much near new. We've got the chrome covering on our exterior mirror, and then all the chrome running through the top of the door trims as well, just give it that little bit of quality. You notice that just a few minor little cosmetic marks just on the inside of the door handles, probably from jewellery, but once again a very minor observation. Right hand alloy wheel unmarked is basically like new. As we move around to the back of the car now, once again distinctive chrome badging running through the tailgate. We've got the high mount stop light. We also have a reverse camera, which we'll touch on a little bit later, and reverse sensors as well. Finished really well the rear of the car, not really a mark on the rear bumper bar or the tailgate, and fairly well consistent coming down the left hand side of the car as well. Minor little scuff mark on our left hand rear alloy, and a very minor one on the left hand front. Once again fairly consistent with age. All of our chrome garnish running along the base of the car as well. So overall the exterior condition of this car for a 2010 model presents really well. Back around to the front of the car now. Under the bonnet we'll just have a bit of a chat about the performance stats on the little Peugeot. Just pop our little bonnet right in the left hand corner there and tuck it out of the way. A really accessible motor. The little Peugeot 1.6 litre 4-cylinder motor. It's going to deliver you 115 kilowatts of power, 240 newton meters of torque, but the really exciting one about this car is its fuel economy. 7.8 litres per 100 k's, so based on a 60 litre fuel tank, expect in excess of 760 kilometres to a tank of fuel. Now we move back around to the rear of the car. Simple matter of just pushing on our little pneumatic button there to release the tailgate. Comes well up out of our way. Now notice we do have our cargo cover here, which lifts automatically up with the tailgate. Large storage area there, and then we lift that up into an even bigger storage area that's completely obscured, so you can store everything safely. We do also just have a cover for the rear window, and also a luggage net there as well. If you've got cargo in the back that you want to store safely, just use that cargo net and lock it up so it's not floating all over the place. The other feature with the Peugeot is the fact it does also have the drop down tailgate, so it just makes ease of access to get storage into there, you know, really simple. Also, in the event that we want to store a lot more cargo, just a simple release of our seats, and you notice they fold down completely flat, so it gives us a really large storage area. Also in the Peugeot you do have a little torch just on our left hand side in the rear, and directly above that a little 12 volt outlet as well. So a lot of thought went into the design and the construction of the little Peugeot. Okay, so here we are inside the 3008 now, and a lot of features for us to run through in this car. Starting on the driver's armrest, which are finished in partial leather. We've got all of our controls for our power windows and our power mirrors. Also have the function to fold the mirrors in when we lock the car, just to protect them when you're in a car park. Be very hard to see, but there are a couple of manual buttons right down the front here. One for stability control to turn it off if required, and then one for your parking sensors, reverse sensors, to turn them off audibly if you don't wish to hear them. Right down the bottom there is also an adjustment for our headlight height. Now our steering wheel, as you might have noticed then, it is height and reach adjustable, so we can set ourselves up where we're nice and comfy. Simple matter of pushing that lever back to lock us into position. On our steering wheel also, on our right hand side, we have our wiper controls, and then below that we have all of our audio controls as well. So you can control them off that stalk there rather than taking your eyes off the road. Also, you notice we do have plus and minus paddles. The car is also fitted with the option of paddle shift if you wish to drive it as a manual car. Then on our left hand side, this stalk here is our factory cruise control, which we'll talk about a little bit further. Dusk or dusk sensing or light sensitive headlights, so they will detect as it's getting dark at night time and automatically turn themselves on. Now on our dashboard, as you can see, we have our speedo, our tacho, feeds us all of our historical information on what the car's doing as far as fuel consumption, distance travelled. Our cruise control's currently on pause, of course, because we're sitting here parked. You'll also notice right up the top in front of us here, might be a bit hard for the camera to pick it up, but it does also give us a digital readout of our actual speed when we're driving. Now, if you don't want that screen, if it is, you know, just not so much annoying you or taking your focus away from the road, we move into this center section here, and you can actually put that away if you need be, which we'll just demonstrate that in a moment. Okay, so just our on and off button there will take the screen away, just get it out of our sight. A couple of other things, quite a good the digital readout actually, but just a little perspex looking little piece of plastic. You can see all the readout. These other buttons here on our left are to actually adjust the height that the actual speedo is showing at on our little screen. So you can set it up to be in the exact position. Then to the right of this, these are distance control buttons. So you can set up the exact distance in front of you want the car to actually alert you to. Then of course down below that we have an Alpine navigation system. Obviously trip computer, we've got settings, obviously our navigation. So we've got all the options there if we need to. We'll just flick back for a minute. That's better. Settings, of course, so we've got all the different settings for traffic and so on. Also fitted with reverse camera. So if I just pop it into reverse, you see a really good idea. Obviously not as clear as it could be because the sun's beating directly in the back window, but a very clear picture as a rule. Very important disclaimer there, never depends solely on the camera. Obviously driver safety extremely important. Down below that we have our climate control, heating and cooling. We do have the air conditioning running at the moment at 19.5 degrees, but very quiet car. Move down into our transmission now, can be driven as an automatic. As I mentioned, you have the option of paddle shift up on our steering wheel, or also moving through the gears manually, which they indicate what gear you're in up on the dashboard. The tacho obviously will also help indicate that. We do also have this little button here, which we just pop on, which is basically sports mode. And then we have an electric park brake in the Peugeot. Simple matter of just pulling on that to release it, and then pulling on it again just to engage it as well. Cigarette lighter to the right of the handbrake. Not that people really use those things anymore. Cup holders here as well. And then you notice this button in the center is for our panoramic roof. Fitted standard with the panoramic roof, automatic. Just a flick of a button as you just saw, and it opens the panoramic roof right up. And as you can see in the Peugeot, really large size roof. If you don't want the sun beating in, simple matter of a touch on that button again and away she goes, closed right up. As we scan around, you notice a little sunglasses holder there. Mind you, you'd want a really little pair of sunglasses. And then we move back into the center, into our center console. Very deep console storage area. It does go all the way underneath here in the Peugeot, so a lot of storage room. Got our little light in there as well. A lot of features this car. Now, very important to note, airbag safety. We've got front, side and curtain airbags, so you've got all 6 airbags. So extremely safe car. And while we're scanning around there, you notice just in the glove box here, we do also have an auxiliary cord, so if you want to plug in your iPod or your phone, and you've got a couple more options there. So a variation on the different types of accessory that you can plug in, which is really good. Now we'll move on to the handbooks now and just have a little bit of a look at the history. As you've seen so far in the video, this car's been quite well looked after so far in its life. And then we go to the books. Originally purchased from Peugteot, I think here in Melbourne. Female owner previously, and have a look at these books. Stamped all the way through, good service history, and then we've just carried out the current service on the vehicle as well, so you can rest assured that's not required when you buy this car. Is also fitted with Bluetooth as well, which is part of the whole navigation unit, so you pretty much got everything that you need in the little Peugteot. So in summary, really impressive little example of a 2010 Peugteot 3008. All 6 airbags, as we mentioned, 5-star ANCAP safety rating, we didn't mention that earlier, 7.8 litres combined per 100 k's, in excess of 760 kilometres to a tank of fuel. Impressive little car. If you've got any further questions, feel free to give us a call on 9907 0555.